I strongly believe this that in order to become the most attractive version of yourself, it doesn't just include how you look and present yourself physically. It also means that you are extremely magnetic. And in order to become magnetic, you have to be the most intense and most passionate version of yourself, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Because the thing is, humans are natural magnets. This means that you are attractive, even if you don't feel it yet. So we need to focus on helping you catch up so that you feel as attractive as you really are. And because you attract, you can also repel. This means that you have the power to scare off certain feelings, habits, or even people that you don't want. Because naturally, if you focus on receiving the right energy, the wrong energy will automatically go away. I personally had a huge glow up in the recent year and I was able to lose 40 pounds of fat. And not only that, I was able to get healthy and fit, clear my skin, heal my gut health. But what I gained even more in the process that I value beyond the physical glow up was the mental glow up. They need to go hand in hand. The reason why everyone isn't magnetic yet is because not everyone can be or knows how to be magnetic. But it could be for you if you apply the right kind of traits and mindset that magnetic people have, as well as the habits that you can implement to become more magnetic. I mean, how would you feel if your energy just naturally attracts the people that you want to you? And not only people, but also opportunities, nice things, money, happiness, whatever it is you want. So if being magnetic is for you, we're going to work on your energy and learn some new habits. Hi guys, I'm May and welcome to my channel. So my channel is all about discovering your dream self. So if you're looking to improve yourself and you like the vibe so far, make sure to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. So before we get started on all the tips and tricks on how to become magnetic, we need to first work on your magnetic mindset. The parts of yourself where you're still repelling things that you might not want to repel, which is not the goal of magnetism. And speaking from experience, if this is not the first step to being magnetic, even if you learn all the tips and tricks out there, it's just not going to work. This is the part of ourselves that we need to first become aware of and work on first, because some of us are walking around not knowing that there's repelling energy around us or that we're giving up repelling energy. And because humans by default are magnetic, you already have that gravitational pull. Your heart space has an electromagnetic field that's constantly communicating with not only other people's electromagnetic fields, but also the planet's electromagnetic field. Everything has energy and everything has vibration. There are certain feelings and vibrations that are more attractive than others. The vibrations of confidence, happiness, love, respect, and kindness. Those are attractive vibrations. And then the vibrations of feeling shame and anger and sadness, insecurity, and jealousy, that doesn't attract. So in order to get there, what do we have to do? We need to be okay with accepting the parts of ourselves that's making us feel insecure, angry, and jealous. Where we carry a lot of shame and sadness, whether it's in your physical body or in our personality, or even things that happen to us. Anything that made you feel like you were unlovable. Can you do the work to forgive yourself and accept yourself for feeling this way? That's the first step towards aligning ourselves not only with the magnetic mode of people, places, and opportunities that we want to feel fulfilled from, and flip the script. Whatever you feel is unlovable about you, you need to love it. If you do this, I promise you, it will lighten you up spiritually and make you more magnetic. This alone will give you a better quality of life for you. And the feelings of self-acceptance and self-forgiveness will help you create a momentum into feeling even more attractive. And this includes, by the way, forgiving anyone who made you feel those feelings of shame and anger and sadness. And instead of being jealous of people, be grateful that they showed you something that you want, that you didn't know that you wanted that badly, and be inspired by it instead. I like to think to myself, wow, I didn't know I wanted it so badly, so now I'm going to plan for how I'm going to go for it. If you resist the negative feelings around you and you hold on to it, it's going to seep into how we feel about ourselves and actually water down our intensity. And because you attract things that you are aligned with, so if your magnetism aligns with sadness, you're going to attract more sadness. So if you focus on repelling sadness and repelling shame and anger by accepting it and letting it go and letting it flow through you, you are going to attract love, happiness, confidence, and kindness. You need to honor your intensity and be very careful with how you spend your time, because a passionate person goes after their passions because it sets their soul on fire. So don't ever feel embarrassed to do that. In fact, don't be afraid of embarrassment. So I talk about embarrassment in detail in another video about how constantly putting yourself out there actually frees you from feeling embarrassment. So instead of feeling bad about expressing yourself, use it as fuel for you to become even more powerful and even more passionate. And that's how you become more attractive mentally. I personally am told very often that I'm magnetic now, but I wasn't always like this. There was a time when I was really stressed out and unhappy and depressed, and it showed. I did not desire being high vibrational, and during this time, I was critical and judgmental of everything and everyone. All I did was listen to really heavy and unhappy music. Everything that came out of my mouth was, I don't like this place, I don't like that person. So naturally, because I thought this way, the things that I said and did actually made me a repulsive person. And get this, I specifically didn't like people who were shining beacons of positive, attractive, golden retriever type energy. And I'm not saying that everyone needs to have this type of golden retriever energy, but there are certain personality archetypes that have that natural magnetism and draw. So when I realized that what I was doing wasn't making me magnetic and I was making myself miserable, I did the hard work of changing my mindset around how I saw the world around me. And it first started with my thoughts. So instead, I changed my mindset from everything sucks to everything is beautiful. This is so cool. I love being here. Thank you for inviting me here. I am so proud of everyone. And that's when people looked at me different and went, wow, May is amazing. Because I began to radiate an energy that is now seen as attractive. So what I'm saying here is, before you even get into becoming magnetic, focus and get rid of what's stopping you from becoming magnetic first. You can't be magnetic if you're repelling everything around you. So, what does being magnetic look like? Think about the words that you would use to describe someone with a magnetic personality. Open. This includes your body language. Arms and hands uncrossed, legs uncrossed too if your outfit permits you. Sit up straight, have a good posture, and also be someone who's curious, open to new topics, open to trying new things and learning new things. Open-minded. Magnetic people also have a strong presence. So what I mean by that is people who are actually alive, not like breathing and not dead, but people who are just buzzing life and energy throughout their whole body. And you can usually see this by the way they act. They're able to do things very confidently, actively, but also smoothly and gently at the same time. I notice, especially when I'm filming videos, that when I'm passionate about a topic, I put in extra energy. And it shows and it proves itself because then more people are actually drawn to that video. But then last week I was sick actually, and I was filming and I just wanted to get it over with, and I was just talking so fast and I didn't have as much energy, and it kind of showed. People can feel your vibe. So drink a cup of coffee or matcha if you have to. The amount of energy that you have matters, and it directly relates to how present you can be. So that's the thing about being intense and passionate, right? It means that you need to focus on the things that you love with your full heart. Let's talk about being attractive. So this doesn't always mean physically, okay? Being physically attractive just makes someone physically attractive. And I said this many times, I know people who are very beautiful, but if they don't have the traits of being magnetic and very charismatic, they are just simply not magnetic. People with attractive energy have energies that draws people in. And the way to become attractive is to have things that interest you, and you work to gain knowledge or skills in those interesting things, so that when people think of you, they automatically also think about you along with those interesting things that you do. And if you want people to be obsessed with you, you first need to give people something to be obsessed about when they think about you. People who have actively worked on themselves and they have their own things and interests and passions going on, they can naturally carry conversations and empathize with people. And that's how you create deeper and stronger connections with people. And that is super attractive energy. Okay, now let's talk about having mystery. Yes, you need to physically make an effort to look good and look clean and look like you have personality and the visual identity. And this is not hard at all. There are so many resources on the internet where you can find a style that suits your personality. But at the very least, just look like you care about your grooming and your hygiene. Appearances do matter, but it's not all about looks. You also don't have to shout to everyone about how cool and unique you are. In fact, the less you share, the better. And I will tell you why. Only share information when it's impactful, not so that you feel seen by everyone. Because if you're a huge one-way speaker and you're constantly going around telling people, I did this and that today, it was so awesome, my cat, my dog, me this, me that, and you don't listen to people or let people talk, they are going to stop listening to you. If you're constantly excessively trying to prove yourself to other people, that looks really needy. And neediness is not attractive. Truly charismatic and magnetic people don't even need to convince people that they're amazing. They just are. They embody it. So if you worry less about how you express yourself and worry more about working on yourself and just being yourself, then this way people can wonder about you and be like, oh, okay, what's this person about? Why are they so cool and busy doing cool things? But just mystery and strong presence alone won't work. You need to combine this with the next couple points. So next, let's talk about making people feel seen. Charismatic people make you feel like you're the only person in that room. So when you talk to others, make the effort to be truly engaged in what they're saying rather than thinking about what to say next or interrupting them. Remember the small details of what they say and bring it up next time. Make eye contact and ask open-ended questions to show that you're interested and be engaged in what others have to say. Be engaging, period. You see how I like to use my hands to talk to you? That's how I stay engaging with you. Make some subtle efforts to lean in a little bit, maintain eye contact, but not necessarily a staring contest. You want there to be kind of like a natural ebb and flow as you talk to someone and you're thinking and you're doing this and then you talk to them again. If eye to eye is too much for you, you can look right below their eyeballs at their cheekbones. That's generally the best spot for eye contact that's just right, but not too intense, but still engaged. If you want people to think that you are magnetic, listen to people. This is especially if you want to give people the impression that you're really good at speaking and talking to them and being a very good conversationalist. Make sure that you're talking less than they are and you're actually actively listening to them so that whatever you're responding next is related to what they're saying. And it sounds really counterintuitive, but they're not actually judging you on the quality of the words that you're saying as much as how good you make them feel. And magnetism is all about how you make people feel. Also, there's nothing people love more than to hear their own names and talk about themselves and the things that they're interested in. So if you want people to think that you are amazing, literally ask people to tell you more about themselves. Where do you live? How did you grow up? Do you have pets? Can you show them to me? If you want to really get to know someone better, you should be open and curious to learning new things. And then when you come out of that conversation, that person is going to think, wow, you're actually so awesome. It feels like we can talk about anything. Okay, like for example, I don't really watch a lot of TV dramas, and I had a roommate who watches dramas all the time, and she always wanted to talk about what's happening in the latest episode. And I might not be interested in it, but I still listen in and I learned a lot about these TV shows. And I asked my roommate questions like, oh, why did this character do that? Oh, that's crazy. What do you think is going to happen next? I personally didn't care about the show itself, but I genuinely did care that my roommate actually really likes the show, and she really wanted to share why she liked it. So in that way, I was interested in the conversation, even if the subject wasn't interesting to me. So compare this to someone who says, oh, I don't want to talk about this actually. I don't like TV shows. Like, yes, that's the truth. And it's not like my roommate doesn't know that I don't watch TV drama. She knows. But the difference was I showed interest in her interest and her talking about it instead of shutting it down and repelling the conversation. And that is one of the things that magnetic people do. Not only that, they also have a strong voice. When people have a voice that is projecting, they're not loud and they're not quiet either, but they're able to get what they want out of their mouth and make people understand what they mean. And they are able to speak very clearly because they're not using their throat to talk. They're using their stomach, their diaphragm. So make sure that when you're talking, that you're talking from your diaphragm. So I used to mumble a lot, but now I find myself in the position where I have to articulate my words. I have to be very sure of what I'm saying so that you understand. Because if I talk like this, you're not gonna know what I'm saying. Warmth and kindness. People who attract other people generally tend to be people who are warm and sweet and kind. Even today, I can think back on the classmates and friends and acquaintances who always say good morning to me and they always follow up, how was your day? And then they ask follow-up questions. And the thing is, they are genuinely like that, and they're good listeners too. But their positivity radiates from their heart. I'm telling you, people know the difference. If you don't quite understand this concept, you can watch my video about why you need to stop being nice. Nice is an expected quality from society, yes, but people can tell the difference between real and fake. That's why I said genuine like 5 times. And this is literally also why people say nice guys finish last. Because it's such a cliche at this point that there's a common understanding that nice guys are usually not that nice because they always want something from you in return. So if you approach everything instead from a place of actually being genuinely positive, you will radiate that positivity. But specifically kindness, I think, tends to attract people because nowadays it's just hard to find a genuinely kind and friendly face. This is a big one. Let's talk about confidence. While people gravitate towards warm and kind people, people who attract others also tend to be confident. Like they're sweet and they're good people and all that, but if you're taking advantage of them, they will not resist from standing up for themselves. Confident people are people with high self-esteem. They have high self-worth. Humans like people who are confident because everyone in some way seeks out that confidence and they want to be confident as well. Confidence is also a sign that you know what you're doing. And we like to rely on people who we know we can trust. And some of the fastest ways to be confident is to just be very sure of what you're talking about. And if you're not, gain knowledge in what you're talking about. So this leads to my next point, which is wisdom. I think this is very closely tied into confidence. People who attract others are also very wise and knowledgeable, or at least they tend to be, about anything, whether it's academia or just the fact that they know a lot of parties. I don't know. They're knowledgeable in something. Like I mentioned, people like someone who knows what you're talking about and they know what's important and they know what's not. So knowing things and seeking out knowledge naturally will give you substance, which when you perform your knowledge, whether it's putting it to use or talking about it in a conversation, people will see this as a magnetic quality. And now let's talk about the friends that you keep. Be very careful with who you surround yourself with because I wasn't a magnetic person back when I was a miserable person. And misery loves company. This means that other people who are also miserable will want to seek out similar vibes, and these may not be the kind of people that you want to hang out with anymore once you become more magnetic. This includes people who carry vibrations of insecurity and anger and sadness and jealousy. Be very careful if the friend group that you're hanging out with, all they do is talk shit about other people and gossip about celebrities, gossip about other people, gossip about people they don't like. Just be aware of that. When I worked on myself to become more magnetic, naturally, I shed some of my friends who had that energy. Some of these people, as well as even negative situations, will not want to be around you if you're energetically magnetic. So in working on myself, I shifted my energy away from that kind of company and the kind of situations that were holding me back. Naturally, I feel like what attracts people is when you have self-worth. People like to know others who know what they're worth and that they're not lesser than anyone else. Others, they appreciate that and they respect people who have self-confidence. If I have to sum everything up, be open to others and to new experiences, be true to yourself and your emotions, and be direct and honest with yourself and with people, and always be on the lookout on how to appreciate something or someone, even if it's not immediately rewarding. In fact, some of you might already know a lot of these things. Either you know magnetic people, or maybe you Googled this before. Although sometimes I hear you guys say in the comments things like, oh, I already know everything. But you know why you're still here watching this? It's because you don't listen. So go back to my specific point about listening. And if you want to learn more about being magnetic, there's an old book from 1936 called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's been around for a very long time, but there is a reason why they reprint it every couple years, and it's still one of the most successful nonfiction books in history. I personally have a copy, and I'm gonna drop a link too, so if you want to check it out, you can. And if you guys haven't already, like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. And if I ever helped you out, you want to support my channel, you can show me some love in the coffee link below as well. So thank you all for watching, and I appreciate you guys. I will see you in the next video.